Welcome back. Joe Volpe, publisher of Corriere Canadese, North America's only Italian-language daily newspaper, on behalf of Go Live TV and Corcan Media Group, to comment on some of the issues of the day, and in particular today, about how government officials immediately shift responsibility without giving data. So here's the comment. How about some data before casting blame? The national press and media in Canada are having a field day with Refugees Minister Ahmed Hussen. He recently lost his responsibility for irregular border crossers to another rookie MP, now Minister Bill Blair. It's not clear what mechanisms or tools Minister Blair has at his disposal to solve the issue of illegal border crossers. The National Post, citing contents of a leaked letter and quoting a spokesperson for Hussen, claims that Hussen admits that Canada's backlogged system is not sustainable. And it's all the fault of a decade of short-sighted and damaging policies under the Harper Conservatives, according to an email response provided to the same National Post by that spokesperson, Mathieu Genet. How convenient. There is no more killer argument than to blame the other guy, who incidentally passed away politically 3 years ago. Having some reliable data to frame the discussion might help. Francesco Veronesi, journalist editor for the Corriere Canadese, has been providing context in which to assess similar phenomenon in Italy, population 60 million. Where asylum seekers have literally invaded the peninsula over the last 5 years. He has access to data that identifies government-verified landings at every port of entry, literally daily. Intake officials identify claimants according to country of origin, gender, age, and ultimate destination intent. It doesn't seem too much to ask. In calendar years 2016 and 2017, 301,000 claimants have appeared, uninvited. A full 85% at first examination are self-identified economic migrants in search of a better life, and not necessarily in Italy. God bless them. We're all creatures of God. Last year, Italian authorities expended 4.3 billion euros, that's 6.5 billion Canadian dollars, to minister to their immediate needs, house them, provide medical urgencies, and so forth. A further 5.1 billion euro is budgeted for this year. That's 7.7 billion Canadian dollars. Between January 1st, 2014 and December 31st, 2015, they expended more than 12 billion euro, that's 18.1 billion Canadian dollars, for 324,000 arrivals. And that's not counting the additional costs for Marine and Coast Guard required for search and rescue of the desperate thousands who fell victim to the waters of the Mediterranean during their effort to secure landing in Italy. Now, one can appreciate why refugees and immigration issues are consuming the governments of Europe. In Canada, population 37 million, the citizenry is all in a knot because of the 20,000 asylum seekers who showed up unannounced last year, and a further 12,000 so far this year, a mere drop in the bucket relative to the numbers cited above for Italy alone. Genet complained to the Post in that same email I just mentioned that the government budgeted $74 million Canadian, match that with the billions that I just mentioned, to finalize the processing of the asylum seekers coming from the USA. Minister Blair may find good use for those funds. Meanwhile, Minister Hussen re-announced the immigration levels plan for 2018. They include targets under 5 different categories for a further 43,000 refugees and protected persons. As a point of interest and comparison, that number would be the equivalent of 68,800 such people for a country the size of Italy, which last year took in 120,000, a drop of 60,000 from the previous year. Minister Hussein's plan calls for an additional 3,500, or a low of 2,900, entrants under humanitarian and compassionate grounds. Maybe Canada is not as well equipped to show its embracing, welcoming, compassionate character as it claims it is. Or maybe the Prime Minister's advisors are too busy tweeting nonsensical partisan arrows rather than devote time to addressing the demographic issues confronting this country. Joe Volpe for Corriere Canadese, for GoLive TV and Corcan Media Group, inviting you to stay tuned for the comment in Italian and in Portuguese. Thank you.